Okay, so I know a few of you have followed me, watched me, saw some of the things I've been talking about for the last, I'm not sure, however many years. And today I just felt some inspired action to sit here, just be me, just be real. I wasn't going to overthink this. I did think about it a lot though. I saw most things not going the way I wanted them to. I started feeling nervous inside of myself, which doesn't make very much sense because I've been making videos for years now. I have the podcast, The Conversation. I guess when it comes down to a one-on-one moment where I have to deliver my own individual thoughts without someone asking me a question, I get a little nervous. I decided that while I was thinking about what I was going to say on this one-on-one moment, that I was going to tell myself a different story. And this conversation isn't for anybody watching. I mean, it is, but I've decided that these conversations are going to be for myself. So when I come here and I sit in this chair and I look to this person across from me and I see my own reflection, this information is for you. And everybody else watching, I'm just an outward manifestation of yourself. I'm not going to edit this either. So if I mess up along the way, you're going to see how I'd really speak to myself. I mess up sometimes along the way, that's fine. Room for improvement. So I am an outward manifestation of yourself. Yes, that's somewhat mind-blowing for some people to grasp, that I'm not real. I am only who I think I am. You are only who you think you are. I am only who you think I am. I am only who I think you think I am, and on with this plethora of thoughts. Thinking, something I do very often, whether or not I'm observing my thoughts or I am stuck in them, there are constant thoughts. I enjoy quote-unquote meditating. I call it breathing with my eyes closed. Other people have their, you got to sit up, you got to put your hand, I don't get into all that. But I do like to stop every once in a while and breathe consciously from here and remind myself that I am just thinking and that most of my thoughts are not even mine. They just float around up there and I pick them. I pick them, and then I say, oh, this is my thought, or oh, that's my feeling. They don't have to be either or. They don't have to be your thoughts, they don't have to be your feelings, they could just be passing by. Like clouds in the sky, they just pass right by you and you just observe them. I fell a little frail today into my old habitual process of thinking, my fear-based thoughts. I recently moved. I took a big leap. Everybody's like, oh, you can do that, but I can't. And oh, it's so easy for you. No, let me tell you this right now. This move for me was because I believed in myself. The biggest thing I could have done was to believe in myself. I lost that belief in myself for a little while, and I stopped paying attention to how I was feeling. And recently, about a week and a half ago, 10 days, I don't know how you want to measure time, came across an old journal. And I was reading it, and I read all of the things that I wrote, and I could feel the feelings I felt when I wrote it. And as I was reading it, it was about November of 2019. 2020 hadn't even hit. That 2020 hadn't even hit us yet. When everything changed, and I mean everything, for almost everyone changed. Thought processes, jobs, grocery shopping. I mean, I could go on and on, but I don't want to make this video too long because it's hot, and I know that everybody has the attention span of a fly nowadays. You're always all scrolling to the next shit. Maybe take a minute and just listen to this. So I read the notebook, my notebook, the thoughts that I had and the feelings that were lingering with those attached to them. And it all made so much sense to me why my relationship had ended, why I was no longer living in the home that I was living in, why I was back in my childhood bedroom living with my mom, And my son was with me continuously, and my daughter was coming the time was being spaced out. We were having split custody of my daughter. Now, while I was going through this new transition and COVID had hit us all, I couldn't understand what the hell was happening. Why was I in this position? And at first I wanted to blame my daughter's father. I wanted to blame, God. I wanted to blame something, anything, because I was just like, this just doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? Why am I here? And then as about 45 seconds, and I remembered everything that happens, Angela, is happening for you, and you have attracted this into your life. What? Why would I attract going to live back at my mom's house at 33 years old? No. Yep, I most certainly did. Okay? Now, the question that I wasn't going to ask anymore was, why? Because that wasn't going to get me anywhere. It wasn't. Why something's happening is your interpretation. I was going to now ask what. What am I going to do now that I am in this quote-unquote situation? And I knew what I was going to do. I was going to stand up, and I was going to rise to the occasion. And in rising to the occasion, I've learned that getting to this space, this place, that space was needed beforehand to even get here. So that I could sit and tell the people who are messaging me saying, oh, you're so lucky. No. It's not luck. This had nothing to do with luck. We are all capable of having a dream, letting that dream be there, feeling that dream, trusting that dream, believing in that dream, and then going after that dream. And the truth of it is you don't even actually have to go after it. It will just manifest itself for you. It has to. It's the law of attraction. You don't know about it, Google it, or we'll talk about it another time. See, talking to myself, I already know about it. You cannot, the law of attraction has to work. It doesn't care who you are, black, white, orange, yellow. It doesn't matter. It's happening. You are giving off energy. It's not with your spoken word, it's with the way that you feel. So I was feeling like what I would say, shit. And my journal reflected that back to me. However, a year ago, I did not know what I know now. And I did not know that my feelings were energy. I had an idea. You know how you kind of know something, you think you know something, you're like, oh, I know that, but you don't know that you really don't know it until you realize that you know, and you're like, oh, I know now. But you thought all along you knew. Didn't know till I knew. Now I know what my feelings are capable of doing. I don't really need to be doing anything myself. It's my feelings. It's how I feel in a moment. It's the energy, the vibration. People are always like, oh, you got good vibes, you got good vibes. Yeah, because I'm resonating on a good energy, because I'm focusing on the things that I want, and I've let go of what I don't want. I'm staying conscious of what I'm thinking. I'm paying attention, inward attention to my feelings, because I know that if I let too much of a bad feeling give momentum to that and keep going, I will manifest something. I will manifest. And I'll be like, oh, what is happening? It's like, well, were you paying attention to how you felt? Because the universe always gives you what you want. You're always getting what you want. Whether you want it or you don't want it, you are giving off a vibration, and that vibration is going to attract into your life like energy, because like energy attracts like energy. And for me, I attracted all the energy. I got a lot out of what I was writing about. I got everything that I wrote about. It just came in a very different way than would have come in my mind. But here's the thing. I didn't even really see how it was going to develop into anything in my mind. I just kept focusing on what I didn't want. I wasn't actually writing what I did want or what I wanted to see happen. So I just left it kind of all up to just the universe, just to give it to me in whatever way. I wasn't being very clear. I wasn't letting it be known what I wanted, but I was letting it be known what I didn't want. And what I didn't want was to feel so alone anymore. I didn't want to be stuck in the house anymore. I didn't want to feel so sad anymore. I felt like part of me was disappearing. My creativity was being stifled. And so what happened was a crisis. And I was literally shoved and pushed into what felt like an uncomfortable situation. And with that uncomfortable situation, look how a butterfly comes into being. I mean, that shit doesn't look very fun in the beginning, all crunched up in that cocoon. And then you're just like, but then through that process, you can fly. Okay? You fly. So for when people say, oh, I'm in this terrible situation, they're not terrible situations. They're just situations. And if you embrace them and you let them be there and you think to yourself, what can I gain from this moment? What can I give to this moment? This moment has to be happening for some reason because you attracted it. It's nice to sometimes just look at someone outside of you and judge it, and you're like, oh no, I don't like that. Well, that's great. Now you know you don't like it. So now you know that you like the opposite of it. That's fantastic for polarity's sake. For you to see what you don't want just brings into being what you do want. So as I was in this situation, January 2020 until about now, I'm always in just the now moment, I realized so many trivial, life-changing moments that have altered my thought process. Even down to the smallest moment, I've learned incredible things from during all this. That it really, I've said this I don't know how many times, it's not about the destination. It's the journey. Literally, I speak to my mom, hey mom, and she's not a big fan of like the airplane, and like it's like, oh, you gotta fly this long and this. I don't care about the flight. I don't mind it. I'm on the flight, embracing the flight. The flight is a moment with myself. I'm always with myself. Myself is always here. And it's like, okay, what am I gonna do with myself? Well, I'm gonna sit on this flight and I'm going to enjoy myself on the inside while on this flight. Because if all I ever focus on where I'm gonna get, then when I get to where I wanna get, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be thinking about where I wanna go. And when I'm there, am I just gonna be there thinking about where else I'm gonna go? For a perfect example, my son, he always says he wants to, we're at the pool. And he says, I wanna go back home. And I said, when we were at the house, he told me he wanted to go to the pool. So we get to the pool, he wants to go to the house. We're at the house, he wants to go to the pool. He says he wants to go to the park, so we go to the park. We're at the park, he says he wants to go home. So I remember as a child, I was very much so like that. I was never in the moment. I was